Okay. Hi, Anna. Hi, Wendy. One by one, could you please introduce yourself and give us some brief information about your background and yourself, your name, your department, what your deepest research interest is, and perhaps your background in education?
My name is Ana Estrades.
Okay. And where you're from?
Originally, I'm from Spain. I have been living in the United States for 4 years. And I was initially working in museum education, but I joined the program at Park Graduate Center in 2014. So this is my last year, probably graduate in June, hopefully. And I took this course at Columbia as part of the consortium because I was interested in the Making and Knowing project. Pamela came to speak to our university last spring, and that's how I knew about the program. My interest is in jewelry and techniques, materials from ancient times to the Renaissance and the 19th century, and I'm doing for my qualifying paper, my thesis, I'm working on a restorer and maker from Germany that work in Paris too and England, and his work is in jewel enamel and rock crystal in Renaissance revival, but he forged the Renaissance because he sold the pieces of Renaissance, 16th century.
Yeah. And that is in which period?
So he was working in the second half of the 19th century, but he sold his work as 16th century and was discovered only in the 1980s. And has a lot of pieces at the Metropolitan Museum and in the art market.
And that is for your master thesis, right? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Wenrui Zhao. I'm originally from Shanghai, China. And I did my undergrad in Hong Kong in economics and finance, and then I did a master in London in art history. And I'm now a first-year PhD student in early modern European history at Columbia. And my interest is in the material and visual culture and craftsmanship and the interaction between art and science in the early modern time, particularly in Northern Europe, Germany and Low Countries. And for my master's thesis, I wrote about automata in the Kunstkammer collection in the Central European court, which I found is a very interesting case about how art and nature came together. And I just found in my doctoral research I want to keep exploring this research focus.
So when you signed up for this course, what did you expect?
You want to start or?
Oh, okay. I didn't really know much about this course before I signed up, but I read a lot of Pamela Smith's work, which I'm very interested in, and I know she's interested in hands-on work and research, hands-on historical research. And for myself, because from a kid, from when I was a child, I'm interested in doing my own toys and doing experiments. So I just think this hands-on work is kind of my own interest, and as a historian and previously an art history training major, I am really engaged with objects, so I don't really want to just base my research in the textual sources, but want to get a more thorough and deep understanding of the objects and materials, which I think this lab course will really give me deep insight about.
You, Anna, what did you expect?
So it's a little bit similar. Well, I have heard the speech of Pamela Smith, and I knew about the first of the group of experiments with the casting, metal casting. So I knew a little bit of what to expect, but at the same time, I was coming with this very idealistic, I think, approach to I'm gonna be making, I'm gonna be creative. And I have some hands-on experience on the side of my work, but I never did research and experiments or making together. And so a surprise for me was to find out that it was much more scientific and systematic than I was. But also that helped me in my research to progress with my research and to think of it as process more than I'm just doing this reading and documentation, I had to bring in more variables in it. So that was interesting.
And what was your experience in class? You already...
I think I already
Yeah,
mixed the two together, right?
No, that's fine.
But
Experience in terms of the projects we did, or
Yeah, like, or how did you, what kind of experiences did you make in class, or how did you experience the class?
What I found very interesting about this class is a interesting combination of the textual source and the hands-on work, because we actually spend a lot of time doing research on the manuscripts and see the manuscripts as a self-contained system, because when we choose a recipe, we need to kind of corresponds to the other recipes and related to it related to other recipes in the manuscript. So I found this focus on one recipe related to one manuscript, this textual research is an interesting experience for me. And also, what is very revealing is how the written is differed from the hands-on, because when you do the work, there is a lot of unexpected things coming up, like why the manuscript write this, but what I got this result, which doesn't totally get together. And so I just find you use your work to kind of verify the manuscript or to try to relate to the manuscript. This between the text and between the object is an interesting dynamism to me.
Interesting. Was there anything that you found besides what you just mentioned particularly surprising or interesting when?
Surprising is a lot of safety protocols and emphasis on the lab procedures, which I didn't really expect it before, because at first I just thought, yes, I take the lab safety training and then it will just be like maybe when I was a kid at home and doing all those things, or maybe in my kitchen cooking. So I thought it would be relaxed, but actually we are dealing with a lot of material that can be dangerous to us, and there are a lot of procedures which we have to pay attention to so that people in the lab can be safe. So I think this is a good take for me.
Anything you want to add to your experiences in class?
I will,
or everything?
I totally agree with what she said, and then I will add the experience with the maker, because I feel it was a little bit far away in time with what our results were in the making process, because she could only stay for 2 weeks. So I felt it was
the
very
expert maker, the visiting expert maker. Yes, Marjolein Boer.
Exactly, because I think it was so useful to have her, and she has all this making experience. But the fact that she was here for 2 intense weeks and we had to work for an entire semester, I think for me it would have been nicer to have her for a longer period of time, or maybe more towards the end than at the beginning, where we still hadn't chosen which recipe we were working on, and we couldn't really work with her. Like, I remember I was talking to her about my recipe literally the last day before she left. So that's one of the aspects.
And so if you think back now, what did you learn from the hands-on approach in the course?
Again, it's a lot about process and about being open to and flexible to go back to the sources, because you might have just 5 lines of recipe and you understand the text, but then when you do the experiments, you go back. It happened to us a lot of times that did we understand correctly? Because this is not working out as the way it's supposed to work. And you don't really know what's gonna happen until you make it, and then you have to introduce some variable and make it again. And that's my major take, the layers of being and making.
I think the hands-on experience switched on a time machine for me, because it's actually make me experience a certain kind of bodily experience that modernity as a modern person couldn't experience or strange to a modern person in this world. For example, I remember very clearly when we have to prepare the panel painting, how tedious and painful it is. And it's a skill, and it took really a long time. And then when you're doing it, you are thinking, oh, when at that time, how did they measure time, and how the workshop is organized to do this, and it needs to be 9 layers, and each needs 2-3 hours, and so this brings a whole new world to me, I think. And also the culinary reconstruction thing. You have to think about what people's taste at that time is, how to control the heating, and the original recipes and the original ingredients, which are totally alien to us now. I just found it makes me, on one side, more imaginative about the history. On the other side, more precise about history, because these two aspects coming together, I think.
Yeah, they are more powerful. And I will add, most or all the recipes are about material imitation. So one of my major lessons learned from my annotation in particular, in Horn, was the complexity of material imitation that goes into just using one material to make many different materials. Because from Madajón, I had to make a flower, a rose in particular, or fitting for furniture, or gemstone. It was all sorts of different materials in one. And imitation, I know in the art market is not valuable, but actually what I learned from the recipe is very complex, and maybe that's the reason people don't deal with it. And also this shifted a lot so I was already interested in making, but I was studying before doing this course. I was studying more the collector's perspective and the collections than the maker's perspective. And actually I chose the QP Restore and Forgery because actually there is a lot of more analysis on forgeries than other types of material that, forgeries get dismounted because of the doubt of is original or not. So there is a lot of more analysis on enameling and on these fakes. And that completely, that was a shift that was happening while I was doing this course. So it completely shifted my understanding of what I was working with.
And also another thing I want to say is about the manuscript. I just was quite amazed about how diverse it is. There are so many different aspects, like glass painting or sand casting or dyeing, which are totally in a very specialized modern world. It seems one workshop or one person couldn't really handle, but at that time, a guy can wrote everything or compiled everything together, which seems to me very interesting. But it also kind of says something about the early modern worldview or early modern way of putting things together or relating things to each other, I think. So just looking at that manuscript as a whole, as a collective entity, is a very interesting experience to me, I think.
Very interesting. It says also perhaps something about how we look at material culture and its perceived disciplinary categories that we
distance us more
that we are now familiar with and expect to find, but perhaps our categories we found, like I thought a few times, that our disciplinary categories today are not very helpful in understanding our source.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a constant confrontation between now and then, constant rethinking about now and also then. Yeah.
So was there anything else what surprised you about the hands-on approach?
Surprised me is it's kind of both harder and easier than I expected. So it's these are the skills that everybody can pick up, but if you want to perfect it, it's not easy. For example, you apply gesso to a panel, everybody can do it. But if you want to be perfect, not everybody can do it in one day. It maybe needs 10 years. And everybody can apply gilding. You can always put on a gold leaf on the glass and it may look okay. But then if you want to make it really perfect, then it's a skill. So I just thinking about this barrier of entry into a sector or into a craft and being an expert in that, how this process is going. And it may also say something about the industry in the medieval or early modern time about craftsmen. I think so.
And I will add to that the collaboration, the collaborative aspect, because usually we know in the Renaissance you have a master and you have the apprentices or the assistants, and you have somebody teaching you how to make this. And we were doing, you mentioned the gesso panel, we had Marjolaine teaching us. When we were cutting the horn, we had one of the postdocs that has to background, Donna Pilac, was showing us how to make that. And even when we didn't have anybody teaching that to us, we had to kind of collaborate and learn from one another and trial and error, and all that is part of the practice. The people and these trials and errors with the materials and the engagement with the product.
Yeah, so maybe to close just shortly, how has the focus on materials and reconstruction helped you to reflect on your own work, your own research, or how do you imagine it might help you in future studies?
I think I answered to that before, because it has definitely changed my QP to not to deal with collectors but with makers and how objects are made. And also, like I was particularly interested in the colors, in the color making aspect, and that definitely has continued. I hope I'm gonna continue investigate on that color. I'm looking at now more into enameling, and that's something that we discuss, even though in the end we didn't use enamel technique. The color we use on the glass painting, for example, look really a lot like enamel. So.
I'm always very interested in object-based research, so I think this course further my interest to go on using this approach for my research. And also another takeaway from this course is to rethink about relationship between maker, material, and audience, because what we realize is material has its own agency. So we may think that we human beings use material or exert our will on the material, but material can also kind of have its power on us. I just found this dynamism very interesting. It can kind of changes my view, a new perspective about when we see an object, it's dynamism between the viewer and the object. I think it gives me another layer to think about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed working with you.
Enjoy really working with you as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good.
A little bit longer, sorry, will that still be? But I think a few minutes is also the beginning, so perfect.
Yeah, I don't. Were we too long?
No, that's fine. Just we wanted to keep it.